Good evening, everyone. Let us chant Namo Tassa before the start of the session. Namo Tassa Bhagavatu Arahatu Samha Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavatu Arahatu Samha Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavatu Arahatu Samha Sambuddhassa. All right. So let us turn to page number 11 for our sutra read today. Right. So we were supposed to start from page number 11, but just to sort of bring ourselves back to context, let us start from the end of page number 10. Right. What we were sort of going through was the meaning and the context around the word parimukha, the entrance, right, of the breath. As such, only in the context of breath meditation, parimukha may be interpreted literally as in the nostril area or upper lip. However, such a literal interpretation would not make sense elsewhere. In overcoming the mental hindrance or cultivation of the divine abode, where no watching of the breath is involved. Therefore, although to understand in front, to indicate the nostril area makes sense in relation to mindfulness of breathing, alternative ways of practice based on a more figurative understanding of the term cannot be categorically excluded. In fact, several modern teachers have developed successful approaches to mindfulness of breathing independent of the nostril area. Some, for example, advise their pupils to experience a breath in the chest area. Others suggest observing the air element at the abdomen, while still others recommend directing awareness to the act of breathing itself without focusing on any specific location. And we went over a number of examples, for example, like the Mahasi technique, which focuses on the air element at the abdomen, the Sunlun technique, which again focuses on the awareness of breathing, right? So we went over a couple examples. Now, Achan Sujato, in A History of Mindfulness, gives a helpful comparative study of the term parimukha. In the gradual training, Sati and Upatthana occur together in the common idiom parimukham sating upattapeti. Here, the term parimukha is one of those simple words that is so hard to interpret. It literally means around the mouth. It is also interpreted by the Vibhanga as at the nose tip, right? Around the mouth, literally, the literal translation around the mouth, and it is interpreted by the Vibhanga as at the nose tip. While modern renderings usually use something vague like in front. However, the phrase frequently occurs in context outside of Anapana Sati. making the interpretation at the nose tip or any literal partial interpretation unlikely, right? Unlikely. The Sanskrit has a different reading, Pratimukha. This has many meanings, among which are reflection and presence. Reflection and presence. Both of these would be appropriate in a meditative context, but the word usually, as here, occurs in close conjunction with upatthana, which also means presence. I think it is likely that here we have another example of that common feature of Pali or Sanskrit, conjunction of synonyms for emphasis. Literally, one makes present a presence of mind, or more happily, one establishes presence of mindfulness, right? Presence of mindfulness. Now, what I could say in terms of what we were taught at PAOK was to be aware of the breath at the tip of the nostril, right? However, there was a generalized sense of, or an understanding, right? An understanding, although maybe not always voiced, there was an understanding that you observe the breath around the nostril area, right? Around the nostril area. And it does, although in the beginning it might really matter to sort of gauge a proper awareness of the breath, to build a proper image of the breath, as we discussed about the mental image of the breath. As we sort of go or mature from those basic stages of building the mental image of the breath, in the later on stages, I wouldn't imagine that it really does sort of matter entirely, right? That it does matter entirely. So, moving on, the breath sign. In his instructive article, The Mystery of the Breath Nimitta, Sona Bhikkhu refers to three important texts: the Patisambhida Magga, the Vimutti Magga, and the Vishuddhi Magga. The Patisambhida Magga is a book in the Khuddaka Nikaya. The Vimutti Magga is an ancient treatise by Upatissa. The original Pali is lost, only the Chinese translation is extant. And the Vishuddhi Magga is by Buddhaghosa. All three texts, Sona Bhikkhu points out, agree in regarding the breath in meditation should be washed either at the nose or the lip. Either at the nose or the lip. I must also sort of mention that there is a very strong influence of the Vishuddhi Magga with the PAOK technique. Whilst the Mahasi technique would have a very strong sort of influence from the Patisambhida Magga, right? Directly going into sort of the Vipassana techniques and the deeper texts of Vipassana. The reason for this interpretation is the fact that mukha literally means entrance, mouth. As such, if one breathes through the nose, one should watch the breath contact at the nose. One should watch the breath contact at the nose. If one breathes through the mouth, one should watch it at the lip. which is especially helpful when one has a cold. One could then breathe through the mouth and watch the breath contact at the lip, at the lip. Now, some people, whilst we, whilst we might sort of breathe through our noses, some people also find it much more easier to sort of observe through this upper lip area as well, right? The sensation of the breath. The nose, often we see on the side of the nose here. And of course, the lips, we know um, where the lips are. And I do remember sometimes, when shifting, sometimes we did, or I did rather, shift from the nose to the mouth to the nose again, right? All is fine as long as you are clear on the fact that this is basically the air element, right? Basically the air element. I did also find that wetting the lips during meditation really helped me to sort of grasp the breath far more easily, right? Because it sort of appeared as a cold sensation as well when the breath sort of knocks against or knocks against the lips if you're breathing through the mouth, right? So these things are allowable. What you do need to understand is basically these are not, or these experiences are not to be sort of seen different from one another. It is basically the air element. If you are able to do that, then a meditator could very easily observe through the touch of the nose, the lips, or even move towards the abdomen if it is difficult for one to sort of see the sensations at the face, right? Sona Bhikkhu concludes his instructions with this important remark, on breath meditation. Some modern teachers have suggested that it doesn't matter where the breath contact is located, probably in response to the phase which occurs later on in the sutra. Experiencing the whole body, he breathes in, etc. And since the whole body of the breath is not explicitly stated, they feel there is room for interpretation. But the breath as a whole body is explicitly mentioned in the Anapana Sati Sutra, though not in the Satipatthana Sutra. But the phase means the same. I say, bhikkhus, that of bodies, this is one. That is to say, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. The footnote states that breathing is a body because it is included in the field of touch. Included in the field of touch. Now, what do we think about this? What do we think about this? When we are referring to the whole body, right? But the breath is as a whole body, is explicitly mentioned in the Anapana Sutra, though not in the Satipatthana Sutra. If we just take it from this part, I say, bhikkhus, that of bodies, this is one. That is to say, breathing in and breathing out, right? Now, how do we relate to this experience? Experience in the whole body, he breathes in, etc. Experiencing the whole body, he breathes in, etc. Can I hear of some experiences that anyone would like to share in this regard? Hemamali, would you like to say something?
Bante, I like to mention some experience today I got. That is, it's easy to tell the experience, Bante. That's why when I started today meditation, I just observe the air, and then I observe the subtle breath, very subtle. Um, then Bante, I realized that I am aware of observing the subtle breath. Then I just reminded you to ask what to do next. Next means this, whether it's good to now then at that moment I feel like staying longer. Is it, I want to ask you whether it's good to think about virya at that time.
Hemamali, why is it that I'm finding it difficult to now connect what you have told me about a week back to what you are telling me now? Because what has happened, Hemamali?
I simply note. You asked me to simply notice the subtle breath.
So why
right?
are we speaking about air?
So
are you speaking about air element or are you speaking about air?
Air element. Can you remember that you told Lettice one day, think about the air, only the air going, air element. Yeah, that's today is a new experience because I started with air and then subtle breath. And subtle breath, and then I feel like doing more, staying more, and I mean I feel like staying without stopping.
Staying without stopping, continuing your meditation.
Continue meditation. But I know it's 1 hour gone, but I have a lot of work to do. So that I thought of, but I felt like doing more. Yeah. And also at that time, I want to ask whether it's okay to have, to think about virya and to stay long, if I can, or something like that.
Well,
I don't know. Virya also came to my mind.
Okay. Well, I think that part is on the fact of continuing your meditation. The reason that you are experiencing, or we often get the experiences sort of feelings, if I may use the word feeling, not as a Vedana, but we want to continue our meditation because there's a sense of pleasantness with the experience.
Yeah.
Right. A sense of pleasantness.
I know that I am, I mean, no prapancha. Sati, I am observing the subtle breath. That's also there. Yeah.
All right. I would say simply just continue.
All right. Okay.
Right. I would say simply just continue.
Don't think. Is it not good to think about virya? Right. Okay. Just to simply to watch. Yeah.
But it's not necessary. It's not necessary to do so, because even the mere fact that you want to continue, but of course unable to because you have other responsibilities and duties, right? So within that session, allow yourself to come out of that session with that sort of experience of knowing that it was pleasant. or
Yeah.
knowing that the meditation experience was something which was pleasant. This is not to say that you're clinging on to that pleasantness, but you are awakening
Yeah.
yourself with that sense of pleasantness.
Yes.
Right. And of course, if you can sort of continue, you can continue. If you can't, you can stop it right there. But make sure that you awaken with that pleasantness.
Yes. A whole day it was very nice to me.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
would say simply continue, right?
Okay.
When we get more, we must understand, when we awaken with that sense of awareness, it is like, for example, you read a book to a certain page, you leave a bookmark, you close the book, keep it on a side, you go do whatever it is that you want to do, and you come back, you open the book to where you've left the bookmark and start reading from where you left, where you stopped.
Yeah.
And it becomes like that. Do you understand? It
Yeah.
becomes like that. So even though you are unable to continue, there is no need to be frustrated about it in any manner. But
Yeah.
know that you will continue. You are
Yes.
committed to continue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think,
I did double work today also. Gardening, did cooking, did shopping, did a lot of things. Thank you, Ante.
all right, all right.
I like all my Dhamma friends also. I mean, to tell that, to share that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now, I would like to hear some experiences. Damsri, would you like to say something? I would like to hear some experiences, and maybe even lettuce, Devika, if you have as well, later on, about how do you relate to this sentence, this wording, experience the whole body, right? And the body of the breath. Now, seeing the breath as a body, how does this experience relate to you? Damsari?
Yes, Bhante. I'll start with the beginning. When I sit for a meditation, and there's certain amount of restlessness,
Okay.
and because you are just sitting after walking or eating or something like that. So, in order to reduce the restlessness, see, I use the stage of uh, Parimukang Sating Upattapetva. Parimukang Sating Upattapetva is actually I concentrate or I contemplate on my breath, and as if that breath is right in front of me or in front of my face, right? And so contemplating the mind is right in front of my face. I keep on contemplating, and then after some time, the mind moves to the top of the head, and the contemplating the breath, the sign of the breath moves. Then, of course, at that time, you have a sign of the breath. Just breath moves to the top of the head, and as if you watch your body from the top of the head, and then slowly I move the then I get sort of um, a chest sort of feeling of chest expansion and contraction, and together with that one, and then after that I see the contemplation of my breathing sign is actually a feeling of the body. So what I feel is I feel my whole body, but my mind is still on the top of my head, right? So I activate my mind using contemplation of the uh, breath uh, image or whatever you call it, and then image of the breath. and then I look at the body. I I sort of experience the body. Uh, how to say, what's the word actually? Um, Synchronizing.
Okay, Damsiri,
Synchronizing with my
just slow, just right there. From the breath, just if you can go into a little bit of detail about how you go from the breath to the body.
okay.
Explain and synchronize in process. How?
Okay, so you actually, what I see is one stage, I my mind is actually on top of my head, and I observe I watch my body from top of my head,
Mm,
right? And then I get a feeling of chest expansion and contraction, and then I slowly move into feeling of the sort of a experience of the body, and that experience of the body gives me some sort of uh, very pleasant feeling,
mm,
and it's sort of not only pleasant feeling, my mind also get very pleasant, and then I should say that my contemplation of my breath is is becoming very subtle,
mm.
right? And then after some actually, I actually
Would you
uh,
say clear as well?
yeah, clear and subtle and clear. And then I what I see is my body disappearing actually
Mm,
from my radar.
mm,
And so what I have is my mind focused, latched onto the breath
mm,
uh, sign
mm,
and looking from the top of the head,
mm.
right? And so my concentration is actually now in the top of the head. So that's, of course, after some time I lose
Mm,
concentration. I have to start again,
mm,
and because of some external disturbance or something, uh, a car passing uh, by and things like that, you can easily get distracted. So that's the experience which I'm trying to develop.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I can see that actually. So the happiness or what's the word, very very nice feeling
Mm,
I get at this stage, and I can move to the next stage of the uh, Anapana Sati,
mm,
which is uh, Vedananupasana.
mm. Yeah, I think, okay. So there, the body of the breath would be, it would essentially arise from the point where the person has the ability to observe the whole mechanism of the breath from the point where you no longer control it, but you are able to see with clarity the beginning, middle, and end of the breath.
That's right. That's right. When I contemplate on the breath, the in the image of the breath, I have a beginning, middle, end. Then I have a pause that is in breath. Then I move to the out breath, which is again I have a very clear beginning, middle, and end.
Okay. Why do you move between the in breath and do you move specifically, or are
No,
you?
no, no, no. It's because it's contemplating on
Okay.
breathing in and breathing out. So
Okay.
it comes in the mechanism.
It's not that you break it apart.
No, 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 no. It's inbuilt.
Of course. Yeah, yeah. And so then that would be the whole body of the breath there. And you find that the body of the breath and what you see as the body of the breath keeps on maturing in a way, and experience of it keeps on sort of developing into different experiences as, in a way, fine tuning your level of awareness over it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, level of Damsiri, how long is your meditation session?
Every day I have 1 hour
Mm.
from from 11 to 12.
Mm.
We both of us at different rooms. We meditate
At the
from 11 to 12 every day, absolutely every day.
I would,
Except
I would, I would, I would. Maybe we will also now listen to Mala then, because I would actually say, Damsiri, try to do 1.5.
okay,
Right? Mukada, at this, we'll discuss Mala, and then we will, because
yeah,
we must meditate together.
Bhanti, my experience is entirely different. I haven't even read about it, but for a long time, this is what I feel.
Okay.
After some time, maybe after about 5 minutes, I settle down,
Mhm.
and I think there's something watching me from high up
Mm.
and looking at my body,
Okay.
and that person thinks, oh, it's only a body,
Mm.
and this body is doing the work.
Mm.
And I feel happy at the time because anyway, I think he's a powerful being like person. That's what I think. Watching over me and watching my body and watching my breath. And after some time, the breath sort of disappears.
Mm.
The breath disappears, and it's just my body like a log. And there's something watching over me.
Could you explain log, please, a bit better?
Like it's not um, just a roop. It is like a 5 skandhas.
Mata Sinhalin kiya?
It's just a
single.
Can you try to?
ශරීරයක් පමණයි කියලා.
Okay. Sarirayak pamanai kiyala. Okay. 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 Go on.
And so like the rupa is different and my breathing is different. I distinguish between the two. And I continue like that, and I feel very happy when I'm continuing like that.
Okay. So I would, okay. You feel the sense of pleasantness is there.
Yeah.
The anomaly that you are feeling here is this sort of divide, a person watching over.
That's right. Yeah. It could be silly, Bhante, but I feel it's a divine person watching over me.
It's not silly. I know exactly what you're talking about. And the way to correct it is this, right? Now, what Damsiri said, right? Now, Damsiri said, in terms of that he feels that the mind is up here.
Yeah.
Right? This is the same thing that you're having, right? But there is one little bit missing, not missing, but sort of jumped ahead in a way. Right? What we have to come to realize in that sense is this sort of helicopter view that we are having. This is the sense helicopter view, right?
Yeah.
Up there, it is like one of those SGN games.
Yeah.
You know, with the characters, like small characters, you can see everything. Everything is clear, but it looks as if someone is looking from right above.
Yeah.
Right? So the identity here is the question.
Yeah.
Right?
Identity of what?
Your identity. Right? Your identity has been divided into two.
Yeah.
awareness.
Yeah.
One is this sort of helicopter view of everything that is arising and passing away, happening, moving, motion, all of that.
Yeah.
And the break is between the Atma here,
Mm-hmm.
which is the being,
Yeah.
right? So how we could resolve that is
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
right? We come back to the basic motion of the breath,
Yeah.
the very basic motion here or here
Yeah.
or wherever you did it at first.
Yeah.
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 We come back to that motion of the breath
Mm-hmm.
and develop the samadhi a little bit more,
Yeah.
right? With a little bit more strength,
Mm-hmm.
right? Understanding the fact of the noting mind,
Yeah.
right? And the object. මේ දෙක විතරක් ප්‍රකට කරා ගන්න.
Mm-hmm.
The noting mind and the object. So the breath and the mind that notes the breath.
Yeah.
මේ දෙක විතරක්.
Yeah.
When that happens,
Yeah.
is this noting mind has been divided into two. The
Yeah.
Atma, where
Yeah.
you see as a being, a sattvik vage.
Yeah.
This helicopter view, which is the second one here.
Yeah.
Then these two amalgamates.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand?
The noting mind and the
noting mind, prakata kara ganna, noting mind and the object.
Yeah.
Right? When that happens, that ego mind and the noticing will amalgamate together and the whole thing will be just up there.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Right? So do that. Come back to the basic Anapana where you're observing this and just a contemplation that will help you, that now in Aridhamma Swaminatha taught me. Sorry. That now in Aridhamma Swaminatha taught me was imagine that nothing in the world exists other than the noting mind and the object. The key word is imagine.
Right.
Right?
So the noting mind is the one I'm thinking as the higher being, the divine being.
You see, that is what created the problem.
Yes, yeah.
You see, that is what created the problem.
Yeah.
Right? The divine. The knowing mind is this plain awareness that you have at the forefront at that moment. Right? Now, what we might be doing is this, the concluding remarks or the internal dialogue. We might be creating a self for that internal dialogue as well.
Yeah.
So there's to put it into perspective, there's a voice saying, Hari, I'm bhavana karanawa. So there's a bit there, right?
Yeah.
Then bhavana karani Hari, api, let's look at the breath. Right?
Yeah.
Now there's the noticing mind, the object, and api then bhavana karanawa.
Yeah.
Right? So that is what we break now. Right? This happens when we are not entirely with, or when we don't embrace the present entirely. විතර්ක චරිතවල වලට මාලා මේක හරියට වෙනවා. විතර්ක චරිතවල වලින් උත් හැම වෙලේම analytical, හැමදේම කඩ right? ඔයන බෙදන කට්ටියට තමයි මේක වෙන්නේ අනිවාර්යයෙන්.
I even gave it a name. I call it cosmic consciousness.
You make yeah, you made it worse. So if you go back to the breath, correct that and go back, and you can, couple of days you can correct it.
Okay, thank you very much, Ranti.
And then you go back. And when you do go back, it puts you in line with what Dhamsiri's experience was also doing. Try to grow the meditation. Once you do Mala, right, amalgamate, that amalgamation happens, then try to increase up to 1 hour 30 minutes. Right? Othokota Dhamsiri, what you will experience is a steep increase in you will have surpassing joy, right? Surpassing joy, right? Pervading all throughout the body, right? Now, at that moment, if you have the time, if you are able to, and if you feel like it, right? Try to continue to grow your time of meditation, right? Your time of meditation, but not cling on to, not clinging on to the experience of what is pleasant, but simply being with the situation. If you understand what I mean. You're not there for the pleasantness of it, but you're simply in a process of being with the object, right? With the object, right? In a couple of sessions, when you do this 1 hour, 30 minutes, then you will find it on your own accord that you will be able to now grow it, because this time is very good for growing, because you will have the support of the sukha. Preeti sukha hindama, right? You will want to continue your meditation.
Yeah.
Right? So do it, right? So do it and try to grow it out. So you may be able to, within, let's say, if you continuously do it, and Mala, if you're correcting that sort of little thing there, within, I would say, if you continue within another 1.5 weeks, you will be able to really grow it up to 1 hour 30 minutes, and 1 hour 30 grows to 1 hour 45, 2 hours. From 2 hours, you'll be able to do straight on going to 3. Because it is like riding on sukha. It's like riding on sukha, but the sukha will also disappear. Right? 1 hour 45 to sukha disappears. And you come into a state of absolute being, centeredness. But it is like an ambience of shunyata. ඒ කියන්නේ මොනවත් නැහැ, මොනවත් දැනෙන්නේ නැහැ, තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. Right? Riding on simply, but to get to that stage, we make use of the sukha, the preeti that arises. Yeah.
Bhante, I want to ask you again. So instead of somebody higher being, you think of it as a noting mind?
No.
No?
Come back. Now, do not think about it as the noting mind from the same thing that you're doing now. You have to come down, step down, come back to the basic breath. Ar palavini kale karapu.
Right.
Vidya. Ekanata avilla. We imagine that there are only 2 things in this, 2 phenomena in this world. The object and the mind that observes or notes the object.
Right, yeah.
Right? Eka thekka inna poddak, otakota you will come back to the same place.
Yeah.
Or come to the same place, not come back, but come to the same place.
Yeah.
The attention will be from the top, like a helicopter view, eagle's eye view, and eagle's eye view.
Yeah.
That's more correct term. An eagle eye view, right? And you will see everything that is happening. Increase the time, and then you will sort of experience the same thing.
Yeah. Thank you, Bhante.
Yeah. Yes, Lettuce.
Bhante, when I meditate, the breath seems to disappear, and I'm in this empty space, and then the subtle breath comes and goes, and I'm watching it, and then suddenly the breath has gone far away, and I'm leaning to the side, to the right, trying to watch the breath.
Yeah.
Is that the thing to expect? So I had to straighten myself because the breath's gone. I know it's somewhere there in front of me, but I can't feel the breath. And I don't know whether I'm there or not, but I'm going to the right, looking for the breath, I think.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
So,
Tell me, Kian.
but I'm most of the time in this empty space, like the sky in the clouds.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to watch the breath. That's just the subtle breath that comes and goes. Occasionally it comes. So I'm just watching it off and on.
Hari, can we slow down a little bit? Tell me what you've just told me again, but try to be clearer, please.
Sorry. Is it the breath going?
No, I'm not, don't be sorry. Tell me the same thing that you've just told me. Explain your experience again to me, but try to be clearer, as articulate as you can be.
So when I'm meditating, only after a few breaths, I go into the sky, the clouds. But the breath comes off and on, like the subtle breath. And then I'm trying to look for it, and it's far away. So I'm just leaning to the right most of the time. So I have to correct myself, straighten, because I'm trying to look for my breath. And then those days I used to get really frightened, but now I'm quite calm and steady. So then when I'm in the clouds, like, I'm only watching the breath, because now I know I shouldn't do anything else.
Yeah.
Because I have heard that I shouldn't be doing any Vedananupassana or anything. So I'm just watching the breath, the subtle breath that appears and goes away. Occasionally I see these lights, like the rainbow, or like the sea, like a map. So I thought it's like the Ukraine, the Russia things, because all these colors come, the greens, blues, and the reds. That's in my mind.
All right. Lettuce, you're only doing one thing there is only one thing for you to correct. Stop trying. Your trying is making you do and pulling you away from being. Right? Through the trying, now what you are instigating is you're going looking for the breath.
I know, I'm looking for.
Right? Eka hadagana lettuce, everything will fall into place. Right? So something that you could try is, again, like Mala, what I said for Mala, come back to the basic Anapana, right? And experience being with the breath. Do you understand? This is not asking you to go back to, sorry, excuse me. This is not asking you to sort of abandon all what you've been doing all this time, all these years or months. This is basically telling you to sort of, in a way, sort of, we are just polishing up the shoe almost, just simply polishing up the shoe with some moisturizer, right? So what we do is, again, you come back to the basic awareness of the breath with here, observing the breath. Now, more prominence on being in the present, noticing the breath. Being in the present, noticing the breath. මේ වර්තමාන මොහොතේ මම උස්මත එක්ක ඉන්නවා කියන සංකල්පේ තව ප්‍රගුණ වෙන්න ඕන. තේන්නද? තේන්නද let's?
Yes.
Yeah. When that happens, you will quickly now alter. That sort of correction will happen, and you will start seeing that the breath comes and is with you here. When you start going looking for the breath will run everywhere.
Yes.
Right? When you're with the breath in the present, you will find so much more stability with the breath. Do you understand?
Okay, yes. Thank you.
Try that.
Thank you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Devika, yes, Devika? Dil, would you like to say something after Devika? Yeah, lovely. Yes, Devika.
Bhante, so when I sit for meditation in one posture and try concentrating on my breath, at first I become a little, for a minute or two, I have to settle down and really will concentrate in my breath through my nostrils. And then after a while, I calm down. I'm there with the breath, always observing the breath. When I start concentrating a lot on the breath, it doesn't go run anywhere. But then after a while, so I see these colors, colors in the sense around circular colors, like it comes with light yellow color, but I don't want to get attached. I say, yes, I've seen that, and concentrate in my breath again. So I don't move like in that same posture until I finish my meditation. I'm in concentration of my breath. I don't feel like my breath is running away somewhere.
And what does the breath appear like? What does the breath appear like?
It's subtle breath. So I mean, like first, I have to try and do with effort. I have to concentrate on my breath. Then after a while, it's subtle, and I see these things, and then I don't get attached to them. I say, no, I have to only concentrate on my breath. So I do that. Then if for anything, if someplace hurts, I said, okay, I understand it's hurting, and it's hurting, and it goes away. That disappears. And then I'm back on my breath. Okay. So tell me, Bhante, am I doing it right? Or can you help me?
Here, Devika, if we question, how often do we have to engage to bring the breath back to the object? Or I'm sorry, the mind back to the object with the different lights or the different sort of things that would take the mind away from the breath. How many times do you have to really bring the mind back to the breath? Do you have to?
Not often, Bhante. I can stay with the breath.
Okay.
For a while. Okay. Only, sometimes this happens.
Okay.
So I'm aware all the time. I'm aware I should be with the breath. Like you are teaching us. So that's the effort that I put in. And until the meditation is over, I'm seated in the same posture and I don't feel the body. That goes away, and when I deeply concentrate on my breath, I don't feel the body. So only now and then, I feel the breath.
You are able to see the breath with clarity.
Yeah, I was able to see the breath with clarity. Only now and then, only these, when I'm in deep concentration, it doesn't happen all the time. I told you, like colors, and I don't get attached to them. I always get reminded of what you say. So I don't get attached to them. And mostly, I go back to the breath.
Okay.
Go into deep.
Devika, I feel like you're in the right place and you're maneuvering it correctly. But I feel like you're lacking a little bit of regular practice.
You're right. I practice with you, and I practice other times only, not every day. That's the bad thing, I think.
Yeah, if you are able to do it every day, I ensure you will jump the hurdle. Right? And you will start experiencing more things. I feel like you're doing everything right. You just need to do it more often.
Yes, Bhante.
Yeah.
So mostly I've been doing only what I do with you. That's why I wake up at 2 for the 2 o'clock thing as I'm there. And I like that longer period of meditation we started.
Yeah.
Sundays, that I love. But I think I should practice it daily.
You absolutely should. And of course, we have the recordings of the Sunday sessions online. So you could use that and do it every day if you like. You know, but if you do it every day, I ensure you that you will cross over. You know, and you will start experiencing more different sort of levels of the breath.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for your guidance.
Until yes, we can.
Okay, so mine is, I don't know, I think it's different. I think there are bits and pieces. Mine depends very often what happening when I sit down to meditate. Okay. So most often I meditate in the mornings and generally after good sleep. And the first thing when I sit down, I feel very comfortable because before I started with you, I always sat on the floor. And because of this writing and things, I've gone on to a chair. So for me, that itself is very liberating. So therefore, I don't get pains and I don't have to move or do anything. So it's much easier to focus on the breath. Yeah. If on days that, because especially in the weekends, that's the time I get calls from Colombo and have family there, have things there.
Yeah, let's specifically meditation. What are you experiencing specifically that?
So when I'm having a good meditation, which is most of the time, when I sit down, I start with see that I'm comfortable, and I look at the breath, and I observe my breath at the tip of the nose and just inside the nose, and it comes very quickly. I don't have to search for it, and almost very quickly after that, I feel what I call the body of the breath. And that's the feeling of the whole body of it's the air element. It's the whole body of it's that expansion and it encompasses everything. And it's very beautiful. It's very beautiful, and it's very there's a sense of peace, and it's like coming home. That's what I can do. So I feel it, and I feel this sense of it, and I feel there's an observation of what is happening, and it's like an awareness. I'm quite aware of this feeling of the whole body of breath. So I love that word, body of breath. This is the body of the breath, and it gives me a good feeling. And this feeling very quickly becomes more intense, and then sometimes I feel ripples through. I feel numbness, and it's quite exquisite at the beginning. But those days, I jump off at that point when I started doing it. And so I've spoken to many people, and everybody has said, just wait with that and just be in that, don't go looking. And so now it is stated that it doesn't become so excruciating, that lesson that, you just jerk off and then to go back to the breath. So and then that gets it gets less exquisite, and it gets a sense of, just happiness. And then that whole feeling of that whole body disappears, and then it's just awareness, and I can't describe. So I don't see lights and things. I don't see things, and I'm not looking for breath. It's just being in that awareness. And what I feel is, I feel this is sunyata. I feel that it's not blackness, but it's not bright colors either. But it's just awareness here, where it's just this unbounded, and I can't describe it, Bhante. I'm sorry, I don't have the words, but it's that here, that there's nothing, that's just not, and it's really quite beautiful, Bhante. And so I don't meditate for hours and hours. Usually it's for about an hour, and occasionally, if somebody comes or talks, or if there's something happens, then of course I come out of that. But I quickly start with the breath, and very quickly from from the inside, the tip of the nose, and just inside, I can feel the coolness of the breath as well. Very quickly, I go to the body of the breath. That's for me the resting place. And then when I'm in that, and I have this very pleasant feeling, and then it is this unbounded awareness, and I would say blackness, but it's also not really black, but it's like as if there's nothing there. And so I don't see a light there, or I don't see something, I don't look for it. I just wait there. So then when I come out it, and usually it's about an hour, and I don't try to extend it or anything like that, but I know that it is a good meditation, because that sense of well-being that I carry throughout the day. So for example, things that I try to do happen easier. For example, at the moment, today I had a very busy day, and it's amazing. Even the things I didn't expect, I find. The other thing is when texts come with all what's happening, there's no need to look at them. I just do. And if somebody has something very important to say, and I think somebody else needs it, I will forward it. But even what's happening, I don't get disturbed so much. So then I know that my meditation has given me something that to carry me on. But I think one of the things I do with this meditation is that in the evenings before I go back, I always do that Vimamsa thing. And I looked, what happened in that meditation? How did it go? What happened and there's a lot of learning in there. And then in the morning when I start to meditate, I find I'm much calmer, and that those things have sorted out. So I'm very happy, Bhante. I don't know whether I'm doing it right or wrong. And your teaching helps me.
Well, Dil, I can suggest, or the comment that I could make with what you have expressed now. I think you are in a good place, right? I mean, okay, let me reword myself. You're in the path, but there is one thing that is holding you back. That one thing, Dil, is this, I believe. You are too okay with where you are at. If you understand what I mean.
Yeah, I think I do. I think I do. I think I do, but I must tell you that I wasn't where I am now 3 or 4 months ago. Sure. I can see that there's a progress, but I'm not trying to push myself to get it. I'm just being, because I know it's opening up. So for me, I'm not saying, no, why am I not this? Why am I not? I never said that. Maybe it's because I've been doing this for a long time. So as a result, for years now, I didn't know the theory of it also well, which you're telling me. So it's becoming clear. And what I'm not doing is analyzing to tiny, tiny bits. For me, that's why I like to understand. So when I understand it, so like, for example, I like Patana. I couldn't believe. I thought I never.
Let's not go into all of that.
Yeah.
We are just talking about a little bit of an essence.
Right.
It is almost as if the hue of perfume in a clean room.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? The room is already clean.
Yes.
Right? It is just that sort of oomph that you add to the room.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And the oomph that you need is really that sense of, right now it's a little bit stagnant. How we can sort of add on to that is direct your awareness towards nirvana and what is to be done towards nirvana, not anything else. Nirvana, තව යන්න තියෙනවා කියන එක පොඩ්ඩක් මතක් කරා ගන්න.
Now, I know that Bhante, particularly because the lowers I have got, like a daughter, family, how thing. So I know that those kilesas have to go. So
no,
and
they don't. That's the thing. That's the thing, dear. They don't have to go. They will on their own.
Yeah.
But what we focus on is the little bit of a touch. when we give that little push,
Yeah.
the mind will now go on to the next one. We have to make sure the agility of the mind is focused upon progress and not simply being happy with what we have.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. Madam. Thank you very much. I understand. And I understand that sense of urgency that you have, that there's something beyond. But it's also when you're with this being, and when you're there, you realize too much down the line that actually it has progressed, and that progress is that stability that one has when you're not meditating. So that's the kind of progress which because you realize that, for example, say thing that annoys you and irritates you before something, or no, or for example, not today I had my injection, right, my fourth injection. I had been persuaded, thinking, should I do or should I not? But then finally I thought I'd just get. So I went in. But it's that now I have heard so much about the side effects of people and heart problems, and on one side, other side. But it's just that when you meditate and when you go into that, even those issues don't. So when I got the fourth time when they invited me, I thought, okay, I'll just go. And I just went. And it was so beautiful, Bhante. I went to St. Thomas's. Immediately I was seeing there was two beautiful girls, gave the injection. And I came and told my husband, this could have been so stressful, but it just flowed. It just flowed. And that's what I'm trying to say, Bhante. So that, and I thought I may not be able to come to this class, but actually I don't feel anything at all. And I'm just here. I had the injection, what time? I can't, 10 o'clock was. And sharp at 10, I was there, sharp at 10, I got. Bhante, I know that there's much more to go. I know that I haven't got great, but and I know that it's very easy to be complacent where I am. And so I'm very grateful that you said there's more to go. Yeah. And I do realize, and I'm very grateful that you're good, and I will look to see that sense of thing. But I do, Bhante, looking at the Vimansa part of it, which is a very big part of my practice, and also looking at the day and how do I react to this and how do I react to all those things also. And I really value what you say. You don't have to let go of this. When this happens, those just fall away. And that's one of the biggest things that you realize in this practice. You don't have to say, now I don't have to do this now. It's just being with that and being in that way, because those things automatically fall away. So that's why I love your classes, Bhante, because the things that I can't verbalize and tell you, you actually point and say. So I'm very grateful, Bhante.
Yeah. I mean, I think, Dil, we have to sort of realize, all of us, I think, with the way that the world is, we really don't know. Uncertainty is really, really intense at this time. And, even with age, how long, if we take the advanced class, most of you all are, mature, very mature, right? And you all have really lived out your lives. All of you all are professionals, all of you all have your money, all of you all have your children, your grandchildren, you've gone places, been to places, and all of this. Dang ati. You have, you all been there and done it. How many more years do we really have? And with all of this vaccination nonsense and all of that, we don't know how badly or how well it is really affecting our bodies, right? So let us really, this is not really the time to be complacent, right? In any way, for anyone really, and if we realize, something that I was chatting to Sunela and Miri today because they brought Dana, is, when we look at everything which is happening with our country and the emotions behind, something which happens to, a person like the Prime Minister who was held as a god in Sri Lanka, You know, the fact that he fell from being a god to being a dog, right? To a person that people would worship with flowers, and, you know, to a person that people would just spit on the face of if they see him on the road. That is the danger of the samsara that we are all in. And we have done everything that we could have. I mean, actually not me, you all have experienced so much of life, and possibly a far more quality life than maybe even I would have experienced, because of the time that you all were born in, right? And the richness of the experience in that certain way. For us, we are like digital. We are always in front of the computer or a phone. You all have really sort of gone out, and, you know, like the world has changed, and you've seen that. So you all have been too much, you know, ati then. You know, let us not be complacent, and let us try tonight. For example, with what I told Damsri and Mala, within another, you know, 2 or so weeks, they can actually take their meditation. They can make the decisions to take their meditation from 1 hour to 1:30 to 2 hours, right? Make it a මාසයක් යන්නේ නැහැ. It really doesn't, right? It's, you know, if the commitment is present, in a matter of days, you can, right? What we need to make sure is that we are committed to that, because in all honesty, if I am to take this sort of regular group, you all don't have a lot of time, you know. And this
I think Bhante, that urgency is very much there in our minds. And I mean, I'm very fortunate because I don't have, no, my sister at the moment is flying because her daughter is going to have another baby and whole lot of things. And I'm thinking, she's flying from, you know, in all these problems, she's flying because the daughter is in Ottawa, she's somewhere in BC, because they're the granddaughter, not another child coming in, you know, Bhante. So for me, Bhante, the fact that we are at the end of my life, I feel I'm at the end of my life, and that I'm very fortunate. In fact, very often I feel really bad that I think that this COVID is the best possible thing that happened to me. Because of that, I'm spending most of my time on these classes and on meditation and things. So that urgency, when I say that I'm not seeking, that urgency is very much there, Bhante. So I have no fear that I'm very complacent, that I'm quite happy. No, Bhante. That is definitely not the thing. In fact, I always tell I don't even know whether I'll have another 1 month or 6 months. That urgency is there, and the commitment is there. But I'm glad you pointed it to, because it's easy to lose that balance. But the fact that balance is there, and that's what you're always realizing, it's very much uppermost in my mind, Bhante. Because like when my friends are inviting me to come to Oxford all the time, and I'm thinking, need I really go? Because you can sit here and you can meditate, because when you're in a group, then you can't do all the things that everybody does. And they say, what on earth? And I said, but you're happy because you're doing things what you want to do. I do a lot of gardening because that is also very nurturing. And I always think of it, but I don't know, Bhante, but I'm very glad, and I know about complacency, and I know about our age. I don't think that we even have 6 months or anything.
Usually this sense of complacence, we have to be a little bit more sort of accurate with it, because this is not just saying, it's not talking about the guy who sits in front of the TV with a beer thinking, my gosh, I've done enough for the day. It's not that kind of complacence we're talking about.
But to realize.
It is. Maybe you enjoy a beer in front of the TV at night. Maybe you are that person.
No, but the thing is, we are in a human body, and we've got the Dhamma in front, and you've got the teaching.
The complacence that I am talking about in specific with meditation is, right? Now, for example, last month, this was my experience. This month, this is my experience. That's good. You know what I mean? That. Right? So as long as we have moved, I'm happy. That sense. But the thing is, we've not even walked, we've literally crawled when we could actually have made a steadfast journey. right? We've second guessed ourselves, maybe not even second guess, but we are simply just happy with the little we do in a way, or the little that we allow ourselves to grow. Because at the end of the day, measuring it, it is growth at the end of the day, isn't it? Right?
Yes, but there's such a thing as being, and there's such a thing as doing. And it's meditation. Yes, if you can meditate. Because some days we do meditate morning and evening, 1 hour, and sometimes half an hour in there. So I'm not saying that we don't, or that we're not doing, but anyway, I understand your point. And for me, it's also because I've seen a lot of my friends who are doing and doing and doing, and they're grasping, and actually they're not progressing because they all the time want to do some more.
Yeah.
And so that's a balance that I'm talking about. The urgency needs to be there, not the complacency. The being has to be there and the doing. And so long as, so that you have to balance that and go. You can't be complained.
That is what? That is exactly what there.
Yeah.
Balance.
Yeah, Bhante.
The balance.
That is exactly that, Bhante. And that's what you have to really go. There's the being and the doing, and then there is complacency and the urgency. So these are the things that we really have to, and you have to have the mindfulness to see that all the time. Yeah.
It's the balance. It's the balance in doing, yes, I'm being, but is my being so much so that I am now stagnant?
No.
That coming into that understanding, that clear balance between those two.
Exactly. And Bhante, and the thing that keeps you on that is 3 things I find. It mindfulness is the first thing. And also I find that the effort is the virya. And of course, the right understanding that, that we have a little time, because Nibbana is a goal. So I find that those 3 things when you work with is what I do with the balance. But thank you very much.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you. Sujata, you want to say something?
Yes, Bhante. I've been wanting to say a lot of things. I am a rather slow but steady case.
Okay.
Slow and steady. Because my mornings are quite good, really. I have a very early morning. I have a habit of getting up in the morning. So that I'm used to. So I do about half an hour. I sit for 1 hour, but then when it comes to half an hour, I get impatient.
Okay.
I feel, oh, no, not this. I have to make the coffee now, or something that comes into my head at that time.
Okay.
So I sit back, then I have to start from scratch again.
Okay.
I do it, my main concentration is on Metta Bhavana.
Okay.
From there, then I progress on to, I'm doing many things together. Is it wrong, Bhante?
Yes, it's wrong.
Wrong, yeah. I do mindfully, I watch my breath, which I do really. Then I go to Metta, I told you, that's what it is. Then I run to Buddhanuspati. From there, I think of Maranasmriti also. All 3 I sort of go together. I know it's not right, but it happens sometimes.
Okay. So why do you do it?
I feel I want to do it.
You feel like you want to do it? Okay, then maybe try this, right?
Yeah.
Take the Chaturaraka Bhavana.
Yeah.
Right? The Chaturaraka Bhavana comprises all 4 of those.
What is that? I don't know that really.
Metta, Buddhanusati, Marananusati, and what's the other one? Metta, Asubha.
Asubha.
Right? Metta, Buddhanusati, Asubha, and Marananusati. Right? It's like a stanza, Sujata. Right? And if that is the kind of vibration or what you feel like you should do, right, then you can start with that. Right? You can do the Chaturaraka Bhavana and go through the Chaturaraka Bhavana. Right? You can even do it in the form of a chanting. Right? Chaturaraka Bhavana kila Google leke type karana Sujata.
Yes, I can know.
Right?
How to spell that, Bhante?
The 4 protective meditations.
Right. 4 protective.
Right. Now, this is not for the others, okay? I see that some of you all are writing it down.
It's only curiosity, Bhante.
Yeah, curiosity kills the cat, they say.
Yes. But is it, am I doing the right thing, Bhante? Sorry to disturb.
But the thing is, it's not, the thing is this, Sujata. Ape dharme,
Yeah,
it's a very systematic,
systematic.
it's very
Yes.
progressive,
Yes.
very methodical,
That's right.
right? Practice එකක් මේක.
Mm.
Right? අච්චාරුවක් කරාගත්තම
Oh.
හරි අපි දන්නේ මොනවද ඊළඟට වෙන්නේ කියන එක.
Hari.
Right? ඒ හින්දා තමයි මම දැන් අසුබ මරණානුස්සතිය කරනවා නම් මෛත්‍රිය කරනවා නම් බුද්ධානුස්සතිය කරනවා නම්
Yeah.
මම මේ චතුරාර්යක භාවනාවම කරන්නේ. ඒකට තමයි දැන් අසුබේ විතර ඇඩ් කරා ගන්න තියෙන්නේ.
Oh. No, then Bhante, no, I can do the breathing, which I'm very good at it actually. I can manage.
Good.
I concentrating on the breath.
Feel. මේමයි සුජාතා. දැන් අපි දන්නේ සමාජයට වාට මේ පෙර භවයකින් හුරුවක් තියෙනවා වෙන්න පුළුවන් චතුරාර්යක භාවනාවට. නෑ ඉතින් වාට ඒක කරන්න ඕනෙමයි කියලා හිතෙනවා නම් සුජාතා කරන්න.
Mama, I say one thing. I have improved in many ways after my bhavanas. I have stepped, yeah, really. Now, for no reason, I used to eat meat and beef and whatever was there. Now I hate the sight of it for no reason.
Meat and
I don't, yeah, anything meaty I don't like. I used to eat, of course. When I started these bhavana classes with you, Bhante, it's with that I felt, at home people say, you're mad, what is this? I said, no, I can't, I don't look at it, I said. I do my shopping.
You're mad or I'm mad, Sujata, just to clarify.
I am mad.
You're mad, okay. That's good to know.
Actually, Bhante, I feel that in that respect, I've improved. Another thing is my temper is very good. I don't lose my temper like that. So those are two things I give my credit to you, Bhante.
Yeah. So Sujata, what I would say is, right?
Yeah.
Maybe what you could, if you really feel a knack for sort of the Marnanusati and all of that, you can do Raka Bhavana. There is a stanza, right?
Yeah.
That you can meditatively, meditatively sort of even speak out or remind yourself as a contemplation, which can be a meditative contemplation or meditative contemplation. And you can do this in the morning when you meditate and do your Anapana Sati later on after it.
Right. Okay.
Do you understand?
Oh, no.
Right. But I would always say, but if you are able to do it, Sujata, ude Chaturaka Bhavana Karala, it was Anapana Sati Bhavana Pase Karala.
Yes. Yes. I do a lot of Anapana as well, anyway.
You have to. And what is your Anapana experience, Sujata?
Yeah, experience.
Yeah, what is your experience with Anapana?
Yeah, I can't clarify as such, but I have good power of concentration. I concentrate mostly on my nose, tip of my nose. Simultaneously, the tummy also sometimes vibrates. So there, I think there are two things working together for which I am aware of both.
Okay. Tummy vibrates or
no? It's a no. What do you call that? This coming up and down sort of business.
The expansion and the contraction.
Expansion and contraction. That's right.
All
expansion and contraction. Yeah.
All right. So
yeah.
So that could easily come into further developing into the body of the breath.
Body of the breath.
Right. That could very easily, with a little bit more sort of focus and attention, pulling yourself back out of the control element to simply be aware and observe the present experience, you will be able to very easily develop that into the whole body of the breath.
Yeah, yes, thank you. Yeah.
Right. So try, keep it going, have a daily practice and see how it goes. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Bhante. Grateful. Thank you.
Right. We have about 5 minutes more. So maybe, I do not know who iPad, iPhone is. Is it Padma or?
iPad is me, yeah, Padma, yeah. I mean, I was keeping quiet because I don't really meditate that regularly, I think.
Okay.
But when I do Anapana Sati, and then quite quickly I can go into this space of nothingness to a certain extent. And then my doubts come in. I think that's when I start doubting, where am I going to get anywhere from here? And I think that is my biggest problem, the doubt.
You know, this whole group is too intelligent, I feel like, you know, too many vitarka charitas, too many professionals in this group. This is the whole plight of this group, you know.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So typical vitarka charita again, right? Typical vitarka charita again. So then how would you deal with that, Padma?
So I've been listening to the Vipassana. I think there is a section that you did, the Vipassana Jnana, that you did about the doubt. I think that was the 5th one, I think, or 6th. So I've listened to that, and I've tried to think that by just, as you say, by watching, by noting the breath and waiting there, we will progress. That's what I tell myself. But I suppose I'm a little, maybe there's a sense of impatience in the progression. That's why.
Yeah. I mean, okay. The first thing is, right, Padma? The first thing is, when a sense of doubt appears, right? Doubt. What is then doubt? How does the doubt manifest itself? Are good questions to ask.
Yes, okay. Yeah.
How does the doubt manifest itself? What kind of doubts arise? So Padma, what kind of doubts arise? How does it manifest itself?
Yeah. Well, my doubt, I mean, I wonder whether I could progress any beyond where I am.
Okay.
And I doubt whether I'm doing it the proper way. I think those are probably the questions that come into my mind.
Okay. So I could tell you, Padma, if you are able to observe the breath and go into a sense of, or a feeling of nothingness, right? You are definitely doing something correct.
Yeah, thank you.
Right. You're definitely doing something correct. Now, the second part, which is, can I progress more?
Yeah.
And the answer that I could give you very well is yes. Right. Yeah. But what is holding you back?
I think one of the problems is that I don't meditate regularly. Finding the time. I mean, I know it's an excuse, and I think I should find the time.
Yeah.
But find the time, and every day, I think I should at least find the time for half an hour, even if I can't find the time for an hour. My life is a little bit disjointed at the moment. That's one of the problems.
My gosh, talk about all our lives at the moment.
Yeah, in a good, not in a bad way, but in a good way. So I'm leading a bit of a nomadic life at the moment. That's why. Okay. So that upsets my routine.
Of course.
In that way. Yeah.
Of course. So Padma, I think you are well aware. You are well aware, and you have participated, and you've been with us for a long time as well. So you've heard all our conversation, and also been a part of our conversations as well, and discussions. And I think you are well aware, Padma, of what to do.
Yes.
Right? Let us just determine onto ourselves to try to bring about circumstances, situations, and maybe even virya to sort of come into a realization that circumstances will never be perfect. However, we must work with it.
Yeah. Yeah, right? That's what I think I should do.
Yeah. And continue and find time to really, meditate. Because if you are able to, Padma, if you are able to go into a state where you're not noticing, it comes into a state of emptiness, then Padma, a little bit more.
Yeah. Okay.
To really come into the sense of preeti, or tavatikai. Let's push on for that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll try. I will try. Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping to come for tomorrow, but my problem also is oversleeping.
No, I must
I'm
say
trying to
that
join
is not my everyday problem.
With me, especially morning. Tomorrow, definitely. Yeah. No, it's my problem really, especially.
My gosh. Yeah. But regardless, definitely, Padma,
Okay.
I would say get on, try to see.
Bante, excuse me, Bante. Hit a single avruddha. Hit a single
Yes, hit a single. So I'm not going to hold it against you if you do not turn up, but those of you who can turn up for the meditation can do so. Yeah, but I will not hold it against you in any way if you don't turn up.
I just reminded you. I might join.
Because sometimes I also don't apparently turn up for my own meditation. All right. So, right.
Bante, what about Sunday meditation and Monday Abhidhamma? It's Easter holidays.
Yeah.
Well,
We can have it, isn't it? We can have it, I think.
We can have it if the group wants to have it.
Skip tomorrow, Bante. Skip tomorrow.
I'm free for the whole day, so I want to do it, please. If other people are willing.
No, so
I want to do.
Okay,
Yeah.
so tomorrow is
We can come, Bante.
Yeah, so if you all are not going anywhere, those of you who are busy tomorrow, because it is simply just a 1 hour meditation, isn't it? So if you are busy, it's quite all right. But those who can make it, come. Come. And
Please don't cancel Sunday, Bante.
Sunday and Monday, well, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. So if everyone else wants to do it, we can very well go ahead with it, right?
Yes, I want
Yes,
to.
Bante, we can have it.
I would like to do the Sunday if possible, because it's not often I get a Sunday free. Yeah, thanks.
All right. Yeah.
Tomorrow, are we having it then, Bante? Tomorrow will be okay.
We are having it, Sujata. But if you have any sort of Urdu plans in the morning,
No.
I completely understand.
Make some kiribat, that's all.
Some kiribat.
That's all. Nothing more.
Okay. Mona Urdu dene
Tell me about
All right. So let us. So we will continue the classes. Yeah. Continue the classes. All right. So I will see you all then tomorrow morning. Okay. I will see you all tomorrow morning, and yeah, I will see you all tomorrow morning. If you would like, after the meditation, we can do some chanting. If you like,
that will be nice.
That would be nice.
Yeah. Bante, අපි ලංකාවට කිරි පැණි ඉතරෙන්න කියලා හිතමු.
At least not to have bloodshot.
Yeah, I mean, we can bless our Sri Lanka.
All right. So we will do a bit of chanting for Urdu afterwards. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So then I will see you all tomorrow morning at 7. Okay.
Thank you. Everyone Saranai Bante.
Everyone Saranai Bante. Thank you very much.
Thank you.